Hello there, BookTube. My name is Nathan, and I am the Rambling Reviewer. I tell myself that because I tend to ramble in my videos. Um, Maybe changing that name soon because it is way too similar to another BookTuber's name that uh, has more subscribers than me, and I don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to steal his name. Uh, There's been at least one time when another booktuber referring to me has said his name at first, so uh not that I'm not in good company, it's just that was an accident. When I first had my channel, I actually used a different name, which was Nate's Recent Reads, and then I realized that that was very similar to another booktuber's name, and then changed it to the Rambling Reviewer, thinking, oh, this is such a great name, and then later on I realized it was so similar. And it's something I've thought about for a bit, and I don't really know yet, but for the time being at least, I am the Rambling Reviewer. And today, I was thinking a lot about the new year, about my reading goals for the new year. And I have two main goals, which is to read more classics, which is a goal that I think I will be accomplishing, because in the first month of November of the new year, I'll be reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I will later on be rereading Moby Dick. Each month I plan to read a play by Shakespeare. I'm going to be reading lots of Virginia Woolf with Sean D. Standfast, reading lots of fairy tales and folklore also with Sean. I probably will be reading Paradise Lost also in the new year. Taking part in Jane Austen July. And oh no, hint. October, there we go. And that's just some mostly stuff at the beginning or stuff that are major events. There will be other stuff throughout the year, so but the other big goal is to read more history. And so imagine my excitement when I found out about Historathon2023. Now, Historathon is an event where we are all reading history, or history adjacent books. Autobiography, biography, memoir. You get the picture. Um, Especially since most likely the people who are watching this are themselves part of Historathon. It's hosted by Ven at Revenant Reads, and co-hosted by, let's see if I can remember everybody. I actually replayed this video so I could get everybody's channels in. Mark at Booktime with Elvis, Jack David. He's got a weird channel name. I'm sorry, Jack. I think it's something like Simon at 880. I don't remember. I'm not gonna try. Uh, Mariana at Mariana Musk Books. Peg at Peg's History Shelf. Fred at Read by Fred, and Bill Ruttenberg. Um, I will link all those channels down below so you can go subscribe to them, watch their content. Some of these I'm fairly new to. I've known a lot of them on the periphery of my the peripheral of my booktube viewing, but there are so many booktubers it is impossible to keep up with everybody. I've been subscribed to Revenant Reads for a little while now. I know I've been subscribed to Peg for a little while now. Been subscribed to Mark, Fred. I watch Fred and Mark fairly often because they were co-hosts for New World's November, but I've not really had a chance to watch, for instance, much of Vin's stuff and much of Peg's stuff, and Bill's and Jack's and Mariana's are new to me, so very exciting for that. Very exciting to get to meet new booktubers. Uh, they have Voxers, so getting to talk to them is absolutely wonderful. I'm getting sidetracked though. The idea, though, of Historathon is that each quarter of the year will be divided into time frames. So January to March is from prehistory, as far back as you want to go, to 500 CE, the Common Era, or AD, Anno Domini, whichever you prefer. Um, from April to June is uh, 500 to 1500, so the Middle Ages. From July to September is 1500 to 1820. And from October to December is 1820 to the present day. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single one of those time frames, but I do want to talk a bit about the first time frame and about some stuff that I have on hand that are possibilities for me to read. I've got 8 books right there. Now, I will not read all those books, and even more importantly, those are not the full of considerations. That's just what I have on hand. There's a lot of stuff that I'd love to try to find. So this section I have is almost entirely Greek. It's all Greek to me, though. I haven't read much history, but I want to open it up as much as possible, read as widely as possible. So, with the ancients, besides just the Greeks, you've got the Romans, the ancient Persians, Mesopotamia, the Hittites, the Egyptians, ancient African civilizations, Mesoamerica, the Olmecs, the Indus Valley civilization, Chinese, uh, probably even more that I don't. The Assyrians, um, Medians, Lydians. There's a lot. Saudi, the Arabian Peninsula before Islam, uh, early Christianity in Ethiopia and in Armenia. There's a lot. So the Celts, um, Roman England. There is so much. So this is only a small fraction of what I could read. And I plan to look outside of the bounds. One particular book I'm thinking about is Babylon by Paul Criswick, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, or but I'm gonna guess. But I still need to do more research. Another thing I'd like to look into is books on ancient, classical, and medieval, which would be outside the bounds of this particular month's Iran, because I'm fascinated by Iran and by Persian culture and history. So I'd love to read up on that also. And maybe find things that I've never even heard of. Civilizations, peoples that I have no idea about. I've babbled on long enough. I'm just going to babble on. I've babbled on too long enough as it is. I'm just going to show you what I have here. Suetonius, the 12 Caesars. This is probably what I will start off with. It'll be easy reading. I've read a little bit of this before back last November when Matthew at Mayberry Book Club and Steve Donahue read this as part of their little ongoing book club, and I enjoyed what I read of it. I just read the part on Caesar. And I think I also read the part on Augustus. But yeah, you've got the lives of 12 Caesars in this here. So this would be a great way to start learning about Roman history. You got Julius Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Gaius or Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Oso, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. So that's the first possibility. And then closely linked, because these were also read around the same time, I've got the lives of Plutarch, in the modern library editions. And similarly, these look at the lives of famous Greek and famous Roman uh, figures. So we've got Theseus, who is compared to Romulus because they have little comparison essays in them, Lycurgus and Numa Pompilius, Solon and Polycola, Themistocles and Themistocles, Camillus, Pericles, and Fabius, Alcibiades, Coriolanus, Timoleon, Aemilius Paulus, Pelopidas and Marcellus, Aristides and Marcus Cato, Philoposemon and Flamininus, Caius Marius, Pyrrhus, Lysander, Sylla, Simon, Lucullus, Nicias, and Crassus. And then this other one we've got Sertorius, Eumenes, Agelsius, Pompey, Alexander and Caesar, Phocion, Cato the Younger, Agis, Cleomenes, Tiberius Gracchus, Caius Gracchus, Demosthenes, Cicero, Demetrius, Antony, Dion, Marcus Brutus, Aratus, Artaxerxes, Galba, Otho, Index. Oh, I'm an idiot. Index. I'm keeping that. Index. Like that great Greek statesman. But as you can see, a lot of those I have never even heard of. I have no idea, for instance. I know who Mark Antony is and who Pompey is, but I have no idea who Cleomenes is or who Phocion is. So it'll be a great learning experience alongside the Suetonius because I'll be able to compare and contrast both the lives of the Greeks to the Romans, but also the life of the Romans to the Romans through different biographies. And continuing on with the primary sources, I've also got Herodotus Histories by Herodotus. I've started reading this a handful of times. I actually really have enjoyed what I've read of it. This is a Tom Holland translation, which is falling apart. So hopefully this time I will actually get all the way through it. And a shout out also to Thucydides, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Xenophon, Arrian, Polybius, all the other Greek historians. I might read some of those too, or maybe some of the Romans like Livy or Tacitus. I actually would love to read Tacitus, particularly his Germania. I think that'd be absolutely fascinating. But I don't have it, so. Now, into some more modern stuff, but same with the Greeks. I've also got The Rise of the Greeks by Michael Grant, which is a recent purchase for me. I found it at a book sale being hosted by a Unitarian Universalist church, and this got high praise. This author got high praise from Sean D. Standfast. I'm just looking at some of the pictures in here. Very nice. So that'll be an interesting introduction into the Greeks. Moving away from the Greeks now, but staying in the Hellenistic world, we got Cleopatra, or not really Hellenistic, but Roman, actually. Roman Egypt. This is a biography by Stacey Schiff. It's not yet read, so. And then these next two, we're moving away from the Greeks, the Romans, and Roman provinces. to Judeo-Christian history. But both of these books are actually not confined um, to the ancient or the classical era. They they extend into medieval, uh, Renaissance, modern, and current history. The first is Jerusalem, a biography by Simon Sebag Montefiore. Montefiore? How do you pronounce that name? Which is, yeah, just a history of the city of Jerusalem. So a fair amount of that will take place during this time period. It goes into the creation of Jerusalem, the Maccabees, the Romans, the Herods, the Jewish wars, like that's recounted by Josephus, Christianity, and into Byzantium, and the chapter, the apogee of Byzantium, actually ends at 518 AD before going into the into the Arab and Muslim conquests. Actually, goes into the Persian conquest first, from 518 to 630. So, but after that, it goes into the Muslim conquest, which is a time of history that I'm fascinated by. The Muslim conquest of the Middle East and up into Spain and Africa, and just fascinating to me. So, again, I'm not sure if I'll read that because it's actually not technically confined just to this time frame. The other one, though, is Christianity by Diarmaid MacCulloch. I always get his name mixed up with David McCullough. This is a history of Christianity. Again, I've actually started reading this before, and I enjoyed it, and then just put it aside. But I probably will not be reading this in the first few months, because I probably, if I have the chance, might read this in May for maybe Midrash. And again, it looks at the entirety of the history of Christianity from the beginnings, its roots in Greek philosophy and Judaism, into Rome turning, becoming Christian, and Byzantine Empire, and again the Muslim conquests, and the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Protestant Catholic schism, the Christianity and Puritanism, and going to the New World, and all of that, everything, and the modern Christian history. So it would be fascinating, but not sure if I will read it yet. So yeah, that's my stack of possibilities. But let me know, what do you think of my possibilities? But also, do you have any suggestions, particularly for things outside of here? Anything at all. If you know of a great work of history on the Persians, let me know. Or a great work of history on Indus Valley, or Jericho, or any number of things. Let me know. I'm very, very interested. The Olmecs, I'm extremely interested. So, well, and let me know if you're also planning on taking part in this. Anyway, with book 2, I'm gonna let you go now. Bye.